guys about this, and it literally hit me on the head when I see this documentary was started off was like about her experience in coffee shop, and I honestly can justify it's definitely a tough job. But I want to bring this up because I really find it irritating that why Singapore or some of the Singapore they cannot understand why is coffee shop a hassle. Like why is it so expensive? Why is it this? Why is that? And I have to break down a certain criteria in this documentary because living here I can justify that certain things like maintaining the system or maintaining the boiler or anything that requires some certain amount of people to do something about it. For example, a stove or something that is broken, we need to pay money to repair it, and not just repairing the cost is very expensive to be honest. And just a standpoint, I definitely have no bad intention about this. And just to clarify one thing, I am not trying to look down on people, but I want to make it very clear so you guys can understand in better terms is I live here and I can justify it's very expensive to be honest. And honestly, I went to the market price. Let's say a bag of vegetables counted by the kilogram or the weighing machine. It will justify about $2.53 for a pack of vegetables. And just for the clearance side, the vegetable that is clearance is nearly like expired or not able to sustain, then they will drop the price like potentially. So I gotta bring this up because a lot of people complaining why is the food so expensive? Why is about this and all sort of rubbish. And I have to say sorry if I honestly hurt people feeling, but this have to be justified because I really really frustrated about people why they are doing the stupid nonsense like complaining or whatsoever. And I'm not trying to look down on a company or anybody. Just to say,
Coffee shop was during my primary school days when my parents bring me to the coffee shop to tapao food for dinner. It's very hot and humid. It's very dirty. It's a very tough job because the store spaces are very small. So personally, I don't enjoy going to a coffee shop, but I still look forward to the nice local food over there. To me, ban mian is a comfort food because it's light on the palate and it's something that's easy to eat. We serve quite a wide variety of noodles. Customers can choose from you mian, ban mian, or mi hong gui. Other than our soup-based noodles, we are actually more well known for our dry noodles, such as our cod fish ban mian. We sell about 100 bowls of dry noodles a day. We will use our secret recipe dry noodle sauce, freshly cooked pork lard, and sambal chili. One of the most popular dish on our menu is our signature dry noodle set, which consists of a bowl of
just to let you guys know, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I have some trouble looking up or linking up some video of this, but just a quick summary. Think of a student come out to work as a coffee shop hawker. It's kind of interesting for a documentary, but is it too expensive? I won't justify it, but be honest, a lot of it. But I'm gonna mute myself until a certain criteria point.
our signature dry noodle, a piece of chicken cutlet, and a bowl of soup.
I'm a private chef that likes chicken a lot. I will go around the world to eat fried chicken. Very generous, the serving. The chicken tastes very fresh. The crust is crispy, and the meat is very tender. The noodle is chewy, and the sauce marries the ingredients, the noodles, so it makes it very tasty. I think the young people will like this dish.
I was studying hospitality business in Singapore Institute of Technology. So during my last year, COVID hit. It was difficult to get a full-time job, especially in this tourism industry. I went online to search for business opportunities. Initially, I was looking for something like a bubble tea shop or cafe, which would be easier for me to handle. However, I chanced upon this noodle store listing. This was actually the first opportunity that came by. My sister and I came down to the store. We met the couple and we actually talked with them. They are very surprised and shocked that at such a young age, we are actually interested in doing this business because she herself also have a daughter and a son, but none of them are interested.
At that time, I was still schooling, but I accompanied Catherine to give her some moral support. And I also had the intention to join her after I graduate. So we actually have discussed whether to go into this trade of being a hawker, but we decided that something has to start from nothing. So we eventually decided to take a leap of faith to try out.
他们来跟我讲，他要当小贩，我是吓到啦。把他们回答我，他们很要去尝试。
So we took over this store in 2020 for around 7K from an elderly China couple. We used all our savings on this takeover. We shadowed the couple for 1 month to learn everything, how to cook the soup, how to serve customers, etc. We had the mindset that they just asked us to do what, we just do what. But we didn't think so much of like, oh, how will it be when they are done? Yeah. So we think from a worker point of view. When the elderly couple left for China, there was no one we could ask for help. We didn't know what time is it we have to cook the soup, what time is it we have to marinate the meat.
In the end, we have no choice but to figure out ourselves.
Every day, my mom and I have to wake up at 5 a.m. to catch the first bus to travel from Yishun to Hougang. It takes us approximately 1 hour.
我们全家人都没有饮食业经验，因为没有人帮他，所以我就帮他们咯。 炉的水有开给他煮吗？
什么东西
炉的水啊，有开给他滚吗？
When we first run the store independently, it was a different story. It was really very chaotic. I got a deep cut on my finger on the first day. We got complaints from customers because noodles were undercooked. Serving the noodles and not spilling the soup at the same time is a challenge to us. And sometimes we actually mix up the noodles because we are unable to recognize the customers. My sister will come in later because she has to attend school before this. I come here every day to help out.
而且那个鱼还有吗？
所以
鱼还有准备好吗？
鱼还有吗？要装吗？
不要装，我是问准备好。
还有。It was really very tiring, and I have never thought that I would be like able to stand for 14 to 15 hours a day.
So as you can see, the documentary came with like a short introduction about a hawker and why they decide to start one. And these ladies came out of school because the industry was a bit toughened up and harder to justify. So they decide to go to a hawker and learn from a hawker to make a noodle. And I'm being fair, as a F&B specialist for like 8 years experience in various like F&B outlet like Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf and Subway, all this industry. It's similar concept, but it's definitely double the size. So why I decided to help out Singapore is to understand why is it difficult for students to come out to hawker as a F&B, and a lot of people complain why is it so expensive or buy the vegetables was very little. Come on. I have to remind you, a hawker duty is to make our food, and we are hungry because we want to try that something. And another thing I want to justify is when we buy their food, is technically we are asking them for I want a bowl of noodle. And let's put it this way, the cost of fixing the boiler machine and the vegetable price tag, and then I need to find the equation of the economy. And they can tell you in this documentary without my word, I literally just see, I honestly felt pain and wow, this woman go through what I've gone. Like I gone through different industry in F&B to know about this, and I definitely don't want to make a video of it because I definitely have some up and downs. They may have a different experience because they are doing it over at COVID. And I have to say they are doing a very good job. For a COVID-19 incidental, they really step up the stone. So, man, I should be thankful for these people. But let's continue. So, just to let you guys know, if you guys don't know Chinese, you guys can read like there is English subtitles for you. For my English viewers, I will try to explain in layman term. A lot of things is considered like the expenses, the mechanic, the IT industry skill, like for example the POS system. Once in a blue moon, it will broke down out of nowhere, like God knows when, and it will literally say system error, and you need to find a technician to repair the POS or replace it. And then part of it is a lot of concept. And yeah, let's get back to this. And my moderator know, because they live in Singapore, and I can tell you they tell me the same mediocre things that I'm gonna say.
It's the toughest thing that you can ever imagine. There was quite a few incidents that we always get scolded by customer. So the customer, she added like 50 cent bitter gourd. Then she complained that the bitter gourd is very little.
不好意思，我们会 reflect back on 我们的那个 process， so sorry 啊。像你所想的是 ，so this is our mistake， 是完我们请示咯，不好意思啊。
I think we always face this kind of like situation where people always think that food is expensive, but then they don't understand like the cost behind of running all these. They think that we want to like increase the price and like cheat them or what, but it's not true lah. Yeah.
Sometimes you will face this kind of complaints, yeah. When things go well, you don't let it get into your head. When things don't go well, don't let it get into your heart. So we just reflect back on really that do we charge the customer a very high price?
Since young, I always wanted to become a nurse. So I went on to NUS to pursue a degree in nursing. But I decided to join working at the store after graduation because at that point of time,
I think it was too tiring for my mom. Because of the very long working hours,
my mom had sciatica and she couldn't help out at the store. So it was left with Catherine alone.
太痛了，没有办法，连起床也起不到，然后就进医院咯，就在床上躺了3个月，我就很担心，Catherine 一个人怎样做？幸亏凯恩刚好2021年毕业，就来帮忙咯。
I felt that it was a pity to like give up because we have went through so much, yeah. So I decided to help her after my graduation. My life decisions is actually based on a value that I believe that whether I will regret this decision if it was not made. Yeah. So I gave myself 2 years. We try out and see how it goes. Even if anything goes wrong, I can still go back to nursing.
during the first 6 months, business was quite bad. With only $300 a day for our sales, we have to cover the rental costs, our manpower costs, and also the ingredients costs. It was a very difficult period. I didn't take salary for the first year because we simply couldn't afford it. I feel like giving up every day, but I never give up because I always feel giving up is an easy option. We wanted to do better, and we have to find out the problem of our slow business. We actually gather feedback from our customers, and the most feedback was actually the inconsistent noodle texture.
So when we first took over from the China couple, they taught us how to make all the noodles from scratch. But it was hard for us to achieve the correct consistency because their recipe is mainly based on adulteration.
After a lot of trial and error, we actually found the right proportion to create the right consistency. So after that, we outsourced the manufacturing process to a supplier to help us produce the yu mian and ban mian. But we still produce our mi hun gui over here from scratch. Because previously we used the China truffles recipe and it didn't work well. So I asked my mom for advice and she gave us this particular flour that she always used to make mi hun gui at home. The texture of this kind of flour is actually very soft and chewy and it's very different from the China truffles recipe. So we import a particular type of flour from Malaysia to do it. A lot of customers say the mi hun gui gave them a nostalgic feel of the old times.
Customers like our mi hun gui and it has become one of our best sellers. Our business did improve significantly.
There aren't that many places you can find it, especially the good ones. When you look at the texture, it's very uneven. It's very clear that they are using their hands to tear it instead of using the machine to cut it. By the virtue of the variation of the thickness, you also get the taste of the pasta very well.
Now we have the right noodles. The next step is to improvise on our menu. We actually went around Singapore to try other people's ban mian and see how we can improve on our own. We also wanted to incorporate new dishes to appeal to like younger crowd. For example, we have chicken cutlet ban mian to appeal to the kids. Even now, we are still in the process of revamping our menu. After the few months of introducing the new dishes, we actually saw a pickup in business.
We have actually built up our own regular customer base.
And we managed to get our salary. So that's why we decided to renew the contract.
By the end of year 2022, that's when we started to hire workers to help out at the stores, to lighten our workload. And we can look beyond our operational things and see if there's other expansion opportunities.
Part of my job is to communicate with our tenants. As an F&B operator, we are always on constant lookout for young hawkers because this hawker industry is actually very aging. It's except those chain store, but those really young homegrown hawker are getting much lesser. So when these young people come in, we really welcome them. I find that they are very committed. When you are able to survive the COVID period, you are very good.
It's not easy to get a transport at this hour, so we rented a room at Hougang area so that we can walk to the store within 10 minutes. The reason I need to get up at this hour is because we took over our neighbour store in March 2023. There's actually endless of work that needs to be done because customers will come in at around 6 a.m. This store was initially run by an elderly couple, but they have a shortage of manpower, and I helped them out for a period of time.
I helped out at the vegetarian store for about 2 months, while my sister ran the noodle store with our newly hired employee. Of course, the elderly couple paid me for helping them.
Auntie, 那豆沫来了啊？
豆沫来了
我煮米香先咯。
我煮还是你煮？
我煮。
OK。
They check with us if we are interested to take over their store, and they will be helping us with all the recipe and teach us how to cook the gravy and everything. Also because we also see opportunity in the plant-based market, so we hope to give it a try.
We actually requested to pay the takeover fee in installment, and the couple agrees. That's how we actually afford the takeover fee lah.
Recently, we have just changed our signboard to Sunshine Vegetarian to give our vegetarian store a new branding.
Then the coffee shop manager offered us an expansion opportunity to open our noodle store at another location.
I think there is certainly no gauge on whether the new location will be doing well or not, but we need to outgrow ourselves in this one Ban Mian store. We opened our second outlet in October 2023 in Tampines. The third store in Hougang in December, which is about 3 months after. The approximate distance is about 30 minutes bus ride from our first store. We didn't expect that we will expand within a very short span of time.
For now, I'm more in charge of the vegetarian side, while she's more in charge of the Ban Mian side. Running for store is more of the management of your staff. A lot of coordination. We have to always go down to check on the quality of the food and service quality, if they are treating the customers well.
This is what I do on a daily basis. I travel from store to store to check on the food consistency and to see if the staff encounter any issues that they cannot solve. Right now, I'm going to Tampines for one night.
When I come, I just have to check any of the things that the staff cannot settle. Like for example, electricity trip, then like the water pipe burst, then I have to help them find ways to solve the problem. Okay, bye. I have to go to Hougang.
Definitely I feel tired lah, but I still need to be there for the staff when they need me. So now that we have 3 noodles outlets, we have to maintain the standards of the food quality. We have this automated noodle boiler and we have an onsen egg machine. So it ensures that all the eggs cooked will be of a perfect texture.
This KL chili banh mi is not commonly found in most Ban Mian stores. The chili is very unique here as they added this fried shrimp to it, and it adds to the aroma of the chili. I feel that although it packs a punch, it can be more spicy.
KL chili is actually a recipe for my grandmother. So the unique point of this KL chili is that we use a lot of dried shrimp. We make everything from scratch every week. So the proportion of our dried shrimp to chili is actually around 3:1.
When people approach us with opportunities of expansion, we'll analyze, is the team ready? Are we ready? Like, do we have enough manpower? This is our latest venture, Green by Choice. We took over this restaurant in January 2024. We hesitated for very long before taking over this restaurant. This is actually a huge investment for us. And second, because we do not have any experience in running and operating a restaurant, which is very different from running a food stall. One of our concerns will be financially, will be more cash-strapped because of this. In the end, we still went ahead with this business venture because we see a huge opportunity in the plant-based market. Also, we want to target a different customer group who are more willing to pay a slightly higher price for good quality vegetarian food. Now, with all the expansion in our business, we work 7 days a week and 365 days a year. Even on Chinese New Year, Chinese New Year Eve, we are still always working on the ground. So the reason why we have to know of this, because it is like our baby that we have to take care of. Whether there's emergency issues, there's any staffing issues, we need to be immediate response for it. We started off with half a store to right now where we are, where we have 3 noodle stores, 1 vegetarian store, and 1 vegetarian restaurant. The journey to get here is really very tough and challenging. Now that I think of it, for what we have gone through, I don't think we would have the courage to start all over again.
So, yep, this video is brought by CNA, and what is CNA is called our little documentary. They have an insider team as well. And from point of view, the noodle had to be handmade, and you have to understand every repair. Like, they already said there was a broke down, or there was a electricity down, or power cut or something. They have to figure it out, and it's a tough job, to be honest. And half of the time they have to pay for technician to come down, and they have to pay for cleaner to come and fix their problem, even though they can fix their own. But starting from before you start this combo is like, you have to understand the price, the understanding of the tech, and then understanding from learning curve, and then slowly understanding the pricing is justified. $6.50 to $10.50 is a bit expensive to people. I know it's like I see a chicken rice price tag was $2.50 back in the old days. Yes, but over the GST or government service tax, I don't know, is equivalent to US version of IRS. And IRS is basically everybody have to pay for it, and it's like 1 month term is expensive, the other month term is not expensive, and then the cost of living, the rental of the price tag, and top of that, they constantly get yelled by customers, like literally, not even a simple thank you or friendly hawker center people. Like the customer, they just keep remaining the one thing that really pissed me off. Not all customer is right, to be honest. And F&B people, they will know about what I'm talking about, like literally. I won't say everybody is responsible, but we have to start from a point that we have to say this. Some customer can be mediocre, stupid, to put it in 18 years old term. But if your simplicity, I would say, uh, every year the price will be different. Like for example, my own experience, I went to this coffee shop today, and I was at this interview. Just around the corner there was a coffee shop, and what I ordered was a piece of bread that had the chicken curry, that stuff inside, was about 480. I won't justify because that piece of bread is split into two. And what really bothers me is when they use the ingredient, like they still use the same ingredient, the same step. Just that when you justify at a price tag, it cannot be more than the average price point. That's the concept. But the thing is, living expenses, rental, and it depends on location. For example, my location, they even stated in the document that they have one of the restaurant near my location, and I can like literally travel there to justify it. But I honestly think 10.50 for a bowl of noodle is a bit expensive, but honestly, I won't say it's super expensive. It's reasonable. It's to sustain their business. They have to pay for their staff, and they have to pay for their manpower. They have to pay for their bills, and they have to pay for their phone. As you can synchronize, Singapore is number one for phones. We have phones, we have laptop, we got everything. And why we all still complain? Because of the expensive food, because of the living expense. And some people can understand that why people is yelling at each other. Like literally, I'm just on the next table and the person yelling at the person. I felt bad for the hawker. I honestly felt bad. And it's outrageous, like how the people get angry and they cannot be patient. And I understand that F&B you expect to be like fast food, like for example McDonald's. And just to let you justify, McDonald's, they double the price tag from $5 now is $6, and it's not funny. And if you wanna get a bigger size, it's about $7, $8, give or take. It really depends on what you ordered. And then after the initial, I myself not too happy about it, but what to do? we can't do nothing, but we can say that the IRS tax is freaking expensive. I personally can never justify it on other people IRS tax, but taxpayers like middle class, they usually pay for the IRS tax, and I have to justify this as Singaporean. It's really painful and it's really tough. As you can see, the girls really suffered from scolding. They even cut their hand, and justified this, they also go to school. And after school, they have to train new staff, they have to hire new employee. They make things like difficult. That's how it is. And then top of that, I have to say, as you seen the mother itself, it says hospital bill, elderly care, that kind of thing, and it's like it's very difficult for old people to like literally stand on the store and wait for about 15 hours to cook a noodle, and every day is like 15 hours. It's really painful to watch. And I myself, I personally had that experience for like starting 7:30 in the morning. I go into the store, clean up the store, and then preparation for the store. Had to prepare like water and the trays, and of course we had to opening our own coffee machine. Like literally everything from topping up beans and also making sure the trash can is okay condition. Don't need to be perfect, but it has to be operational. And at that price point, you cannot justify that 750 for a cup of coffee back then was like the cheapest. I personally would recommend Starbucks. Yes, back in the old days, like when it's cheaper, but recently they coming out with different promotion to drag the newer generation to get a cup of latte for two and a slice of cake. Youngsters these days don't even know what is coffee. It's like telling people, "Oh, I like Starbucks. I like because of their new promotional seasonal item." I know some of these idiot thinking, and I personally think I can justify on that because I personally think that way I was introduced to this Starbucks, and they had this Christmas special, and I think half of us were literally, hey, let's give it a try, and the price tag was $8. Amazing enough to be bouncing out of your card. Is literally it's a loose cost for us because we working hard and the price tag is not justified. And let's put it this way, if I put this out, a lot of people will be asking the same similar question every day. Why is it so expensive? First of all, cost of living, and number two, boils down to every segment, like the technical skills, the idea of how to fix the thing, like DIY thing, and they are less stranded. Like literally, they have to figure it out from A to Z, and it's not like from somebody teaching out of a textbook. Like we are reading a book. Nada. Zero. They had to start from testing out how to do this, how to do that, how to justify this, how to justify that. I understand the cost, and I've been there for like 8 years as a barista, and I personally think barista job from 7:30 in the morning, I had to spend 30 minutes to operate my own store. And then the next 10 minutes, I had to generate the computer, like make sure the computer turn on, make sure there's no power trip, and justifying the lightings. Back then, when I operate my own coffee bean and tea leaf outlet, I literally had to call or beg the security guard to lend me the walkie-talkie and to get them to open the light for me. It's like back in the days when a little bit easier. Back in the days, you had to talk to the security guard to get them to light up the shop. And I happen to like work in this location where it's operated by a convention center. Let's put it this way. So it's a give or take. My experience and their experience is totally different. And I personally closed my own shop. I personally closed doing report. And after that, I had to turn down all the things. From blender, from coffee machine, from the fresh milk we use. There's a wastage report as well, and every month we had to like write a wastage report. Like for example, I waste how many liter or how many milk that I'm gonna use. And true enough, we had to use FIFO, first in, first out. And our milk that expires, we throw away. I know it's unfair that we have to throw away the milk, but it's I don't want to cause a major problem called I need to pay for medical bills if I don't like throw away the bad milk. And I'm being fair. 99% of Singapore is like they cannot understand why. And I'm being honest, I'm one of the percentage of other people like a little bit expensive. I can drink my own coffee at home. I can do my own coffee. And I do have like a professional coffee machine with capsules. I can just go ahead and brew my own coffee. And honestly, it costs like what? Cheaper than average coffee machine. And to be honest, back in the days when I'm literally working with Starbucks or Coffee Bean, they use like very expensive Italy imported machine. And how about them have the worst of the worst come to worst? The calibrating of it. And back then, calibrating is never good. And I can tell you honestly, I burned my hand, bruh. And I had to hold a like very heavy jug to pour milk inside the coffee. And it's very heavy. And top of that, they will even justify that a lot of customer complain and a lot of shit that people try to drag. And honestly, in this point of view, I can justify that half of what they do is not what I'm doing, but I'm personally telling you in personal skills. Personality, I think Singapore have to be aware of what they're saying. If they're not aware of what they're saying, it's totally gonna cross my mind, and it's literally like not being fair to the owner, or not being fair to youngsters, and youngsters trying to like go into a food industry. I won't look down. It's personally like interest, and it's very interesting for them to upstand the expensiveness, like getting into the industry and trying to understand the adjusting of the price tag. And they're not trying to scam you out the price. Like I said, it's like I went to this coffee shop, I ordered a bread, and they used the curry chicken to make me feel happy about it. It's 480, and a cup of iced coffee, or the traditional coffee, don't need to be so fancy using fresh milk or soy milk or skim milk, whatever. I just ordered a plain ass coffee, and they use condensed milk. That's the thing that I literally love about standardized coffee, and I personally have that personal touch. I like the idea. But a little bit of the price tag, it used to be 550. And when I go to the signboard, it replaced the price to 650. And then if you want more expensive items, it's about 750. And just for a normal coffee toast, it's bloody hell expensive. Like, wow. And you guys thinking, why is Singapore so expensive now? The cost of living, the ideology of like paying bills, medical bills. And I'm not trying to be a dick. I know some people try to be on my stream saying that, oh, you want to be promote to get affiliated by Kick.com. I have to say, I think about it, but in justification, I will not use it because it's come to a disadvantage, and I personally think paying extra for service that I don't need, and saving up for a living, and saving up for a trip, saving up for medical bills. And guys, medical bills are not cheap anymore. Like, for example, if I have a flu, I have to pay for at least $140 to $150 medical bill. Just for a piece of paper, writing my name, my identification card, and telling you how many days I cannot work. And just for a few medicine from US, there is also pills. Like, really, I hate pills. I hate medical, and I personally don't like this. It's like every time somebody gets sick, somebody get transmitted, and I really hate it. And $150 is not cheap, bruh. Like, if I use $150, I can literally buy a standardized Ubisoft game at a very expensive premium point. And if I buy Call of Duty skin, it's about the same thing. $150 for a gun, $150, another $300 to upgrade, to be honest. And it's really, really boil down the point is you need to know why would I want to spend extra if I can do a certain thing? And a certain thing I would consider, if I want to go to Starbucks, I need to rethink and rethink. And then I walk all the way. I had to walk like gazillion miles to find a coffee shop that is very reasonable price at a price point where I can find my own coffee. And it's cheaper than Starbucks, cheaper than Coffee Bean. I know that Coffee Bean and Starbucks, they have their own croissant, they have their chocolate croissant, they have pies and chicken pie. I won't justify is that price tag. I know it's about $6-7, I think, but honestly, why would I want to pay extra when I literally just want to taste that coffee? And a lot of people don't know about this. Starbucks and Coffee Bean, they have like this special training called upsize, like upscale you. Like for example, I sell you a cup of coffee and I will voluntarily or like try a way to upsell you and asking you the same thing. Would you like to get a cup of fresh milk, which is about additional charges, and then I will intentionally sell like cakes, cookies at about, back then was like $1.50, now it's about $3. Now you're starting to get a price tag, so cost of living is about the same thing. It's about IRS taxes, and we have to pay for it. Like, bear in mind, F&B industry is tough, like the toughest of the toughest. And I've been 8 years with Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. And I personally don't like the idea where I have to force my customer to buy a cookie, or even worse, come to worse, buy a cake. And they won't voluntarily say, I'm gonna do it because it's cheap. I don't know, they will think about it, bro. It's like nowadays they don't even care about the cakes. As long as it doesn't look interesting or it's the same thing, everyone is gonna say the same thing. It's gonna be boring. Until something they can came out especially for diet or for someone that have a special diabetes program, they usually go for healthy food. But honestly, soy milk for coffee, come on. I personally go to coffee shop to get my own coffee. But and if I can do the same thing and I can do my own espresso and just buy the soy milk to do the hot milk, it's about the same thing, bruh. It's like I'm paying lesser and I'm using my own to do something that I can do. And I don't need to like go to Starbucks to pay for shit. To be honest, have you ever thought, did they clean the coffee machine? Or have you ever thought, maybe I need to think about, the medical bill is about $150 once you get sick. And on top of that, there's no medical coverage. That's the youngsters' mistake that everybody has to make. We had to pay for our own medical bills, and it's $150. So I just wanna tell people, don't complain for what you do. It's basically you're paying for the service. And I honestly have to say this to all Singaporeans. Don't be a mediocre, think about yourself, but honestly think about pricing, think about repairs, think about why they need this, and think about the mechanic problem. Like literally, they have to DIY fix their own thing. Maybe some machine like the boiler, or I can say hot boiling soup system, whatever they use on the video, it's gonna be parts. Like literally, they have to hire technician, they have to diagnose what's the problem, and then they can justify a price. And then after justifying the price, it will literally depends on the availability of the things that they need or required or import, and how long it's gonna take. And it's a priority of like 48 hours. They have to order online, and then after order online, they have to verify how long is the process of shipping and getting the same equipment at the same level. Or they can pay extra to get a ready stock, and no common sense, it may broke in about 8 months or so. That's how tough it is. And I personally tell you it's difficult. I work in multiple F&B place, and it's a living hell. It's a living hell before I start to go streaming. So yeah, try to justify it as a person, try to justify it as a human, not trying to be a dick about it, but see for yourself. And like, can you actually think why would I want to pay extra when I can do the same exact thing at home? And I honestly tell everybody the same thing. Why would you want to spend extra for coffee when I can traditionally go down to a coffee shop, which I spend lesser? From a $7, I downgrade myself to a $3 coffee. That's how much my coffee costs. And everybody think it's psycho, but it's not. If you justify this, I can say $3 is better than $7. And if I spend $7 every day and the same thing coffee, let's put it this way, $7 plus 30 days divided by 10%, and divided the cost of living, divided the days I'm sick, I'm gonna cost about myself $1,000 a month, to be fair, and it's very, very expensive. And if you think about McDonald's, US McDonald's about $16, $17. Bruh, $17 I can literally get a trip down to McDonald's, and it's fucking expensive, bro. And I got people that literally show me the price tag. It's not justified to buy McDonald's in US. Is rip off. And thanks to them, they literally showing me the same logic that I'm trying to justify. But I think that's about it. I hope you guys take this as a pinch of salt. Learn from your mistake. Do not try to complain. Once a student come out trying to make a hawker noodle, try to be thankful. Try to understand their difficulties. Not trying to cost them a leg and an arm and telling people that their noodle don't taste good, bruh. That's kind of fucked up, bruh. And expensive as fuck. as a noodle. I don't care as long it's filling me up and I can feel that I don't need to be hungry for the 4 hours, 5 hours work life. It's a balanced meal to be fair. And I personally came from it. And I'm taking this experience to let you guys know globally. I want to get you guys internationally known. Cost of Singapore food is expensive. Think about other country as well. Other countries gonna be the same, double the price tag. So I'm out of here, bruh. I might be playing Call of Duty a bit later, but I'm about to go to the washroom really quick.